All right, man. Talk. Good morning. How's everybody doing out there, man? Good morning. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing, man? We back, man. Torture Talk. You know what it is, man. Look, man, this is the 8 a.m. show. Somebody said that I should stop saying the times, but I'm going to keep saying the times because honestly, that keeps me in line. It makes me do the job. You know what I'm saying? So this is the 8 a.m. show. So we're going to be talking about today's episode. It's going to be about the Super Bowl halftime show was the final nail in the coffin for Drake. And we're going to go through it. Also, too, matter of fact, I got a separate video for this being the biggest halftime show ever. I got a separate video for that for all y'all people that was hating. Suck a duck. That's all I can say. Suck a duck's butt. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so let's get to it, man. Before I get into that, you know I got to get my legendary spell. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscriptions today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content. Absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me a hidden gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 15,000. And yes, I am the king of the north. And March 23rd will be the very first live on this page. So if you want to see a rap battle, it will be on this page. March 23rd, the very first live. You know what I'm saying? And I will be battling J Dev. It's going to be a spectacular battle. Trust me when I tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be crazy. So look, man, we're going to get to this. So let's do it. All right, man. So let's get it, man. Let's go. This is going to be a goodie. This is going to be a goodie. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
Now, what has become very clear ever since Kendrick Lamar took the Super Bowl stage and gave us a moment that no other rapper has ever been able to before, is that out of every single person of the 126 million viewers that were tuned into the Super Bowl and Kendrick's performance, which is a record by the way, is that there is one person who should have turned the TV off, because what has been clear ever since the halftime show happened is that while this entire show was a massive win for Kendrick and hip-hop, as K-Dot got to show the brilliance of not just his own music but rap as a whole on such a major stage.
Yeah, so this performance broke records. A lot of people are complaining, but a lot of people tuned in for it. And I'm starting to see a lot of people on the conservative right leaning people really going hard on Kendrick. I mean, hating on this. Hating. And I'm starting to see people on the left trying to say that if you don't like it, that you're racist. I take a little different approach to that. I'm going to tell you like this. I think if you says that his performance was embarrassing or it's, what is this? It looks like they're causing trouble or anything like that. I think that that's kind of racist. If you just say that it's awful or you didn't like it or you particularly don't like rap music, that's something different. You know what I'm saying? But if you are basically saying that black people or black man representing how he feels about black culture in America, and you say that that's embarrassing, I'm telling you that's racist. That's how I look at it. How can you say that's like a white person representing something and I say this is embarrassing? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So let's keep it going.
What's also clear is that with Kendrick's performance, which is being even more talked about than the actual game at this point, that it was an even bigger loss for Drake than it was for the Chiefs. And seemingly with everything Kendrick did at this show to remind Drake that he is the biggest loser in hip-hop history, and with every move he pretty much makes at this point, he is only upholding that title further and further, Drake is not taking this well, as during his most recent show, he crashed out all over Kendrick like we have never seen. But now before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now with Drake, in all honesty, it's really funny to see that despite running to the other side of the world to hide out from Kendrick Lamar and the Super Bowl, all while he does his strange Anita Max win tour, that despite the fact that Drake is trying to act unbothered and show that he is the same old person he was before this beef by walking out in strange outfits with even stranger shirts like the one we can see him wearing here.
You know, I'm going to say this, man, and for the rest of this video, I'm not going to speak on political, how I feel. I said what I just said, and I said it in previous videos. That's it. I'm not talking about it no more. unless I do a direct video about it. Outside of that, I'm not talking about it. But we're going to talk about Drake and Kendrick. I think that what Kendrick has done on Sunday, it solidifies him as one of the greatest of all time. And I think by far this pushes him way past Drake, to the point where if you got people who don't listen to hip hop music breaking down what you have done, to me that's you won. You did something that I think most people in this sphere could never do. And on top of that, he has a message behind what he's saying. That's why I have a huge problem with a lot of y'all giving critiques on hip hop music when y'all all say the same thing. Oh, all they talk about is guns, jewelry, cars, clothes, hoes. That's all they talk about. But then when you find a guy like him who is definitely in tune with his blackness, all of a sudden now he's worse than them. It's like whenever it comes to hip hop music, there's nothing we can do. We can do the greatest thing ever, and y'all still have an issue. It's a big problem all the time, everything. And it's disgusting to see. It's just disgusting.
That he has not stopped obsessing over what Kendrick is doing and the history that is being made right before our own eyes, because seemingly in response to the moment Kendrick had at the Super Bowl and everything it stood for, which of course one of the many layers in the story Kendrick told focused on handing Drake the biggest L of all time, Drake decided to add to the collection of cringe moments he has been stacking up on this tour alongside his L's, as after trying to remind the world that his career is not over by walking out with smoke on his back and holes in his shirt, Drake's latest performance...
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think Drake pulling these stunts just shows you that, that he's definitely not of the culture. And I think that whoever's giving him these ideas, or he's just coming up with these ideas, Drake is not a street dude. And for him to come out with a shirt full with a hoodie full with bullet holes as if he's from the streets or something like that would ever happen to him. It's like, okay, why are you doing that? And a lot of y'all who protecting Drake, as far as like y'all opinions, I'm saying y'all could have that. That's cool. But a lot of y'all doing that, to me, y'all just encouraging him even more. Nobody calls him out on this. Like, I'm waiting for the day, which will probably never happen, which some of y'all call Drake out on some stuff. I mean, I can say academics do it, but there's a big problem with what academics says. See, academics, he's a habitual fence jumper. You know what I'm saying? But he pretends to be that way. He absolutely doesn't like Kendrick for some reason. He don't. And he pretends to be cool with Drake. But I would say he stands on a side of Drake because, for the most part, that's the safer side to stand on. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Kendrick, he don't want to stand on that side, because if Drake was decided to come around, then academics will feel like a fool. Plus, he don't want to get cut off.
Have gotten even more embarrassing, as with DJs having to make sure the crowd still love Drake by having them sing to him, which is just so ridiculous. The tone already for these shows is beyond pathetic, but even worse, Drake, now in the middle of performing during his lazy and desperate Anita Mac set, did something that Kendrick Lamar does all the time and at a way higher level than he ever will, which is switching up and improvising lyrics on the spot to make the song fit within the exact moment and time you are playing it in. And now when Drake was performing the record from CLB that everyone only remembers because 21 Savage and Project Pat carried him on it, fun fact, if you ever wondered why this record is so out of place on that album and why Drake is trying so hard to be tough, it's because it was originally supposed to be on Savage Mode 2 and Drake begged Metro.
I never seen nothing like this. And he's pointed out something that I think a lot of us are overlooking. I never seen so many people actually shield a guy who's a fake thug. I never seen this. Usually what would happen is in hip hop, if somebody's fake, and I'm talking like manufactured fake, Drake is a manufactured thug. He's not a thug at all. He's not. But for some reason, people give him a pass. They hold Rick Ross' feet to the fire. I'm talking like, oh, you used to be a CO. People make songs about it. Officer Ricky, all this stuff. But for Drake, for some reason, he could be the fakest guy ever. And no one that calls him out on it. No one says nothing. He could have all these ghostwriters and no one cares. I don't get the logic with some of you dudes. It's just crazy to me. How can y'all be so fake? I don't understand how y'all so fake. It's like y'all, when it comes to Drake, y'all are so fake. I just don't understand it. Everybody else, the rules don't apply. If Eminem was to come out today and said that he had a ghostwriter, the world would blow up. It would go crazy. Drake has ghostwriters? Oh no, bro. It don't even matter. He's still fire. Like what? Like, yo, I'm telling you, I never seen somebody get so many special privileges when it comes to people than Drake. It's crazy.
Booming to get this song, which originally had 21 and Project Pat on it. And now when Drake was playing this record, where really when you know who he actually is, and the person he has shown himself to be, especially recently, it's just so embarrassing how intimidating he is trying to be. He seemingly switched up a lyric to try and make the claim that the beef between him and Kendrick, and everyone else for that matter, is seemingly still existent. And it's not in the past, and despite what the Super Bowl and every moment we have seen is trying to tell us, that Drake's career is not over and that he hasn't been pulled out of the industry. And I mean, with this, again, while I do get Drake is trying to act like he still has a career and that he still is in the place he was not too long ago, because with this entire weird tour, that is the goal of it all. I mean, no matter what delusion Drake is trying to convince us of, we all know that deep down inside, Drake doesn't even believe in what he is saying himself, because again,
That's 100% facts. He doesn't believe what he says himself, but he has to keep people around him to say he's this and he's that. You can tell. Every time he says something, he looks over and he smiles because he's looking for approval. Drake is still a kid. A lot of y'all don't understand this. He's a grown man, but he's a child. Like he really is.
while he is doing his weird karaoke performances and is trying to convince the audience that he didn't fall off and that his career has not changed forever by doing things exactly like this lyric change, at the same time as this, we all just saw Kendrick Lamar deliver a performance that was a masterpiece in storytelling, as through all the different things Kendrick was able to do and pull off in this halftime show, beyond the bigger narrative when it came to just laughing at Drake one more time. From wearing the chain, which of course beyond it being a symbol from Kendrick Lamar's PG Lang imprint, was received and was reminding the world of the good old A minor line, and even beyond that, as Drake's real name is Aubrey, in a symbolic way, Kendrick wearing his...
Yo, that's crazy. So you think about it, right? PG Lang, also the lowercase is A minor. Also, Drake name is Aubrey. Bro. I don't know if this stuff is perfectly lining up for Kendrick, or if this is just coincidental, or if it's just a well-mastered, thought-out plan. I don't know. But some of this stuff is just put together too crispy. Like, it's just put together too crispy. It's unbelievable sometimes, man. It's mind-blowing sometimes, to be honest with y'all.
Initial is just symbolizing the fact that he walked away from their beef with his career, and also is kind of a way to taunt Drake back in the same manner he tried to with Kendrick with the jewelry and chains that were from past hip-hop legends, to then beyond this making fun of the fact that Drake is suing over Not Like Us during this performance, which now has solidified how pathetic Drake really is, and we will have this moment to watch forever, as Kendrick of course put it right within the story of this experience. And even beyond this, to even showing how to properly collaborate with SZA, use her talents, and also remind Drake one more time that SZA is on Team Kendrick and they are both doing way more than he is right now. And of course with Serena Williams making it.
And you know the crazy thing is, I see more people online critiquing the Super Bowl than actually enjoying it. It's more people that I see literally trying to find holes in what he did. And people were saying that it's embarrassing that a mother is out there dancing. Like, it's a celebration. And on top of that, she is known for crip walking because they hate the fact that she crip walked at her championship game. That's why it's significant that she did the Crip Walk there. And another thing too is y'all acting as if Kendrick Lamar is glorifying gang violence when he had a show called The Pop Out where he literally brought gangs together. It's like some of y'all takes, I think that y'all just want to be different or y'all just want to have something to say. That's what I'm saying.
Appearance at this performance, which over everything definitely got to Drake the most, because beyond just the surprise of this, as if you've ever listened to any recent Drake albums, as he is still clearly obsessed with her and has really just been the worst type of ex you can have when it comes to the way he talks about her and still tries to be a part of her life. It is clear that with Serena siding with Kendrick on the biggest stage possible, this definitely bothered him, as she pretty much told Drake that after all of the petty antics he has been trying to drag her into, that she's just gonna sit and laugh back with Kendrick at the fact that his career is over. And of course, even beyond this, it's not like us played the...
And another thing too that I noticed, that a lot of people don't like the fact that certain black people are, they became celebrities without really doing what they think they should have did to become celebrities. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest with you. And the thing about Kendrick Lamar, the reason why I don't see how anybody can hate on him is he did everything the proper way that an artist should do it. And for some reason, people still try to find a reason to hate him. Everything he has done was the proper way of doing it. He didn't do anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do none of that. A good portion of his music is not about violence. All his music is centered around love and togetherness and blackness. But for some reason, he can't do that. But again, Serena Williams is another one. One of the greatest tennis players of all time. But for some reason, y'all got a nitpick about that. Oh, she's if we put her up against a man, then she will be ranked 255. Like, obviously she would, because she's playing a man. Like, what? That's not the argument. Like, so she can't be the best of all time. What do you mean? She could definitely be the best of all time if she has the most championships. But that's another story for another day. Let's keep going.
Crowd loved it, and over 126 million people around the world watched this display go on stage. And again, we have all seen the videos of how this sounded in person and how engaged the crowd was. I mean, there's no other way to put it, but Drake is truly in shambles over this thing. Because even more when Not Like Us as a song or music video was released, more than at the Pop Out, and more than at the Grammys, Kendrick Lamar has solidified the place this record has in all of culture on a higher level than we have ever seen. And as a result of this, beyond just music, hip-hop, and industry circles, Drake has never been on display further for the loss he took in this rap beef.
And then when you look at it, the man is literally coming out doing a song called Be Humble. Be humble. And if you look at everybody on a certain side, they say the same thing. You should just be humble. And he made a song called Be Humble. And for some reason, this is why I said a lot of y'all just be saying anything. Y'all just be saying anything. But as far as Aubrey goes, it just goes to show you that I don't think Drake would ever play the Super Bowl. Ever. I don't think that would never happen. That's just my opinion. I don't think it would ever happen. I think what Kendrick has done, he just raised the bar. People could go and say, oh no, next year we want somebody in there and it's just blah, 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 blah. They could do that. They could do that. It's fine. But as hip hop goes, he raised the bar. He raised the bar.
For the problems he is still seemingly trying to create and ruin all the fun everyone has had with this song in the first place. And I mean, for Drake, the fact that you really got called out the way you did at the Super Bowl and with the way the crowd loved it, really, beyond asking to get humiliated at this point this bad with doing such things as pathetic as filing a suit, the fact that now beyond your speculation or seeing just Kendrick and hip-hop fans love this song, you are now witnessing at the highest stage possible that this diss track has become a full-on cultural phenomenon, that has really transcended to levels that few other rap songs have ever been able to, because really it is that iconic at this point when we look at all of its impact. I mean, for Drake, OVO, and everybody who is obsessed with this guy, this is all just a horrible reality to face. And now, as Drake also does have a new album with Party Next Door that is releasing in a few days, I mean, at least while he's clearly upset about Kendrick taking yet another W here, he isn't just completely embarrassing himself yet, as at least he has given us the promise of new music. But still, even with a new Drake album at this point, which just based off the snippets we heard, this thing sounds like it's gonna flop because it features the same old boring and
I'm telling y'all now. I'm telling y'all. I heard 3 joints. One of them was okay at best. The rest of them joints were garbage. I'm telling y'all. And the reason why is because there's no growth in his music. If this was 5 years ago, I would say the album would be okay. It would be cool. But after hearing GNX, after hearing Hurry Up Tomorrow, after hearing these albums, Cornucopia, I can't listen to you dudes the same. I can't. Because to me, if you have these zingers, these one-liners, okay, cool, but I just can't listen to y'all the same. It just doesn't hit the same for me. You know what I'm saying? I heard these Drake joints and I'm like, it just doesn't hit the same. It's just not the same. I feel like he hasn't grown as an artist. He has actually peaked. He's peaked. And it's like, I actually think that he peaked years ago, but he's worse than he was years ago, if you ask me.
inspired Drake. And really, I guess after all the beef, if anything, Drake now sounds even more bored with what he is doing as a whole. It really seems like because of this Super Bowl performance, which has solidified Drake's L like never before, and because of all of the attention on it, it has put Drake in a position where even more than ever, he is bound to fail, because nobody wants this album that is doing absolutely nothing interesting or new. And I mean, because of this, somehow with a moment that has started off with over 100 million people making fun of Drake, the loss he has taken here has a chance to get a lot worse very soon, because no matter what he says, if the music Drake puts out is failing alongside everything else we can all see, then he really has ran out of options after all in this time, where because of the Super Bowl, Kendrick is dominating the charts as well. Drake just has an even greater chance to fail because he has no momentum and hype whatsoever. Because beyond nobody ever even asking for this album, now with the Super Bowl once again reminding everyone from hip hop to way beyond why the Drake era is over, and why maybe we should stay away from him as well, it really makes you question what Drake thinks he is going to accomplish with this new record. Because if this whole era he is in right now is trying to convince people that he is not done, and yet we all just saw what went down at the Super Bowl, and we are now witnessing Kendrick Lamar just elevate his entire presence and catalog to new levels, which once again is just giving the best.
And you know, the crazy thing is, his tour is gonna be bananas. I'm telling y'all right now. A lot of y'all are of the mind of, when someone talks about somebody, you gotta understand. The more negative press you get, people want to know why it's negative. And they go look. And then they say, well, wait a minute. They call this bad? This is bad to y'all? People start to expose people for saying these things. So trust me when I tell you, this Super Bowl halftime show is going to get much bigger than what it is now. A lot of people are going to say some things, but let's keep it going.
Rapper in the world right now a bigger and bigger lead. Overall, things have a chance to get a lot worse for Drake very soon, because between the meltdowns we are already seeing and what's about to happen next, Kendrick's Euphoria lyrics about Drake being paranoid and spiraling really never seem more true in a way, because it seems like with Kendrick literally declaring that the game is over, Drake has ran out of time to make a real comeback. And now with all of the pressure Lamar has on the entire industry and hip-hop, what's clear is that in the following days, while Drake's reaction and sadness from the Super Bowl is starting with these delusional quotes, which of course are hiding just how livid he is, things are only about to get a lot worse. And now, as Drake is known for recording music right until the near release of his records, I'd imagine we are going to see him directly whine about all of the history Kendrick is making on some level. And really, when we do ultimately see this and find out even further how much the Super Bowl has gotten to him, we are only going to understand the full effects and impacts of losing rap's biggest beef on an entire new level, which overall is just going to show us how hip-hop is changing for the better right before our own eyes.
And that's true. That's true. That's true. I seen somebody say something. Actually, I like this guy. Well, I like his content, some of his content. Anton Daniels. I was watching something he said. He said that Drake has a better catalog than Kendrick. I mean, he literally said that, and I just find that kind of amusing that you would make a statement like that, Anton. Like, how can you say that you believe Drake has a better catalog than Kendrick? Like, what, what? Like, I don't understand. Maybe you don't like the pro blackity black thing, or at least that's what you think Kendrick is. But I don't know. Maybe you have a different taste in music. I don't know. Anyway, um, but yeah, man, I definitely think that Drake has reached a point where he ran out of options. And again, I'm gonna say this again: Drake has nothing else to talk about but Kendrick. And the reason why he's parrying to doing love songs or whatever is because number one is Party Next Door, or number two, Drake said Kendrick said I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough, and he pushed him right to that, and that's what he's trying to do outside of that. But he gonna have some subliminals in there. I heard one joint. He said something about the stands. I'll have you in the floor seats, not in the stands. That's a shot at Whitney because she was up in the stand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just goofy stuff like that. Just goofy stuff. But either way, man, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Have a good morning. 12 o'clock show coming up. See y'all. Peace. Bye.